Tyler, can you just talk about, I mean, Taj and Coach sort of downplayed saying this is still just a normal week, biggest game of the year, but there's plenty at stake here, including two of your team's 5 goals winning the Atlantic in the conference.
Right.
Is there any difference between in the locker room the way you guys prepare for this game and sense of urgency, knowing the winner of this game probably is going to win the Atlantic and play for the conference?
Well, it's like they said. I mean, there's really no difference in the way we prepare. Like last week, we had a great week of practice, and this week we're going to try to do the same. We got the same schedule. We're not doing anything different. We're doing the same thing, practicing every day, going to the movies on Friday night. So we're just trying to make it as regular as we can, so that way we don't get caught up in all the hype.
The fact that it's fall break and not fellow students around you kind of talking to you, hyping it up.
Right.
Does that help? And the fact that you're not having to focus on classes, you can really completely buckle in on football.
Right. Well, definitely. Yeah, it definitely helps. This first part of the week, because we can come up here and get a little extra film study in, kind of get our plan down a little bit sooner. So that way this week of practice we can really hone in on our skills and what we need to get done. And it is a little bit different too. You can tell that there aren't as many students on campus. You don't hear the buzz is not as much as it will be on Wednesday and Thursday once everybody gets back.
It seems like y'all are embracing the fact that this is a big deal. I know you say every game is the same, prepare the same. You may prepare the same, but the game itself is significantly different than you think.
Well, it's definitely a big game. It's kind of like we always said. The next game is always the biggest game, and this one, really is the biggest game. But I think we just need to, keep our minds right. Don't get too caught up on all the hype, because, you can wear yourself out mentally if you're thinking about, how big this game is, or thinking about how many people are going to be here, or who's going to be here.
Taking care of the football. First half last week, that was very un-Clemson-like. On the ground 4 times.
Right.
And you still won the game. You can't do that this week, right?
Exactly, and I think we've addressed that, and we've kind of worked those kinks out. And last week it just happened to we didn't finish a few drives, put the ball on the ground a few times, and that's, like you said, it's very uncharacteristic of us. And we're going to definitely work on that this week. And I think it's kind of good to get those kinks out before this is like a really big game like this.
How much of an edge will it be? And home crowd's always a factor, but in a game like this, last year went to Tallahassee. The crowd seemed to get you in that fourth quarter, seemed to unravel. Do you think it's going to happen this time? Maybe your crowd can help them unravel when it matters.
Well, hopefully, you never want to depend on, the 12th man or the crowd, because ultimately it's between the two teams on the field, and the crowd shouldn't make a difference, and hopefully it will for us, but we can't depend on that.
A word or two to describe the atmosphere that you'll see this Saturday night.
I think it's going to be electric. Everybody's going to be really excited about it. Second time game day is coming, so everybody's kind of really excited about that. Everybody's going to be making their signs, and they've had some more time to prepare for that, so we'll see.
This would help last week against Boston College. Maybe if you want to take a positive out of it, you guys struggled a little bit, and maybe it's a wake-up call that you need to be a little bit more focused and pay a little bit more attention to detail.
Well, that's kind of exactly how we looked at it. It's a good chance for us to say, we can, struggle, and this can happen to us, and so we really need to learn how to focus. And also, it goes to show that we can win in the fourth quarter if we need to. It was a good game for us to kind of have to duke it out for 4 quarters and get ready for this next game.
What challenges from their defensive line that you guys have to be prepared for? They're obviously probably more athletic and probably the best defensive line you've faced this season.
They're definitely very athletic, and they're really good with their hands from what I've seen. They don't stay on blocks very long. They get off blocks. They run really well, and they're all strong guys, so it's going to be a good challenge for us.
What about the fact that those guys are highly recruited, highly thought of when they arrived?
Right.
Does that create a little bit extra emphasis on being able to prove that you guys belong in that category with them?
I don't think the recruiting part matters as much to us, because once you get to college, high schools, that's yesterday. That was, a lot of people were good in high school, and it just all depends on, it's all about how you play now for us.
Is it safe to say when you look at the film of this team, though, that this might be the best team you guys have played?
It's probably safe to say, they're very athletic, and they're just very solid, all their phases. Their defensive line's really good, really athletic. Their linebackers are big and fast, and their DBs are, fast guys too, and they're all really physical. So
Syracuse kind of set the tone with bringing 6, 7 off the edge. Boston College brought smarter pressure, I guess is probably the way to say it. Do you expect to see a lot of that from Florida State? How do you combat that?
Well, From what we've seen, they're going to bring some pressure, probably not nearly as much as Syracuse, obviously, and maybe not as much as Boston College. They might bring some, but you never know. You got to prepare for everything. They could come out and just try to blitz us every time, or they could come out and try to beat us athletically because they got the athletes to do that. So we just got to prepare for everything.
Is it fair to compare those guys maybe to NC State that brought a lot of pressure from that front four and put that
Right.
kind of pressure on you guys?
Yeah, we could probably compare them to them. They're like NC State. They got athletic guys in the middle and on the front line, so they can kind of depend on them to get some pressure on the quarterback.
Are you guys approaching them kind of the same way you did with those guys from NC State, or is there a little adjustment?
It's about the same thing. I mean, we try to approach every week the same way. Just working on our fundamentals and our rules for pass pros and run blocking stuff. They should cover everything we will see. So.